Hello everyone, welcome back to 21st Century Youth Home Inclusive here. I got my co-host back with me as well. She was in the background a little bit for the past two episodes. I hope you also enjoyed that Bible trivia. It was quite a pain to my face and to the friends that were with us, Jade, Ane, Jordan. But we will make sure we do fun stuff like that again in the future. But Casey, welcome back.
Thank you, Herman. Hello, everybody. It's wonderful to not be behind the camera today, but actually in front of it again. And as you all know, I was part of the Bible trivia, the voice behind the camera. With us today, we've actually got a very wonderful guest today, Ms. Jamie Likipido. Hello, Jamie.
Hi, guys.
Welcome, Jamie!
Jamie, would you maybe just tell the viewers a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Hi, everyone. Jamie Likipido here. I am 20 years old. I am a second-year student at Stellenbosch University studying language and culture. So it's linguistics, a bit of study of languages, different languages, a bit of French, a bit of German.
Oh, bonjour. Couchon. French.
And I studied, my high school was Hottentots Holland High School. I was head girl there.
Wow.
And so far...
What have I done?
And so far, right now, I'm enjoying my vacation so far, which is ending soon. Okay. I'm building up on my hobbies. I'm reading, I'm writing, I'm painting. I'm enjoying myself.
Wow, you're busy girl.
Goodness. So, with what everything she also just said and what we're going to be talking about, this podcast is what impact did choosing God have on your life? So, I mean, we're all fairly into our youth.
Yeah.
Casey 20, Jamie 20. Me, the youngest, I'm 18, but age is just a number.
Yes, I went.
But, yeah, so we're just going to be talking about that topic. Casey, I think I'll let you start off a little bit about your opinion about what did choosing God, the impact, what did that have on your life growing up?
I think a major thing that has changed after me choosing or making the choice to follow God is I put my feelings aside. I think that was something that I had a massive issue with, was to be completely emotional. There is days where I am completely off that path and my emotions get the best of me. But I think that is something that he's working on with me now. And I don't think I would make any other choice than to be with him.
Sure.
So yeah.
It's true. Would you like to go or should I go?
I feel like taking God on in my life. Sometimes you lose a lot of worldly things. You lose friends, you lose relationships with certain people.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it only adds to your own growth.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to be honest. I did not have a choice growing up. It was just church. It was this is what you do. This is what the family does.
Yes.
So in the beginning, growing up, I didn't have a choice at all about choosing God. Then eventually, I got wise and I actually finally chose. And that did kind of have an impact on my life. Also growing up, because once you have him there, you instantly notice all that negative, all that bad stuff, temptation, all the way out there. And even in your friend group, then you the one that has to be different now because you have to have the light.
Yes.
So then you no man, don't be like this guys, or stop swearing, you shouldn't, or just those little things. And then I'd say that did also have an impact on me because you changed completely.
Yes.
Because God came and changed your life. The old person is dead. Let's just say it like that. The old person is dead. You're a new person in God. So that had an impact on my life regarding that now. It was a big change for me. And I feel like everyone can have a story regarding that now as well. So Jamie, I'm going to ask you. You're in university now. You're studying. But before we get to that, let me also go to high school. What impact did having God in your life have in high school? Because you said you were a head girl, also obviously grade 12, not all grade 8, because it doesn't work like that. But what impact did that have with you that okay, I'm in high school, everyone around me isn't obviously of the same faith, everyone's different, so how did you have to carry yourself knowing I gotta represent now, I gotta represent God? What impact did that have on you?
So same as you, I also grew up in the church.
Yeah.
It's not that I didn't have a choice, but that is your choice at the end of the day. You just have to follow into the footsteps. But I think at the age of 14 or 15, I made an own choice because, you know, growing up in church, you don't have that. It's a habit almost.
Yeah,
It becomes
actually.
normal.
It becomes normal.
Yeah.
It becomes part of your weekly routine. But adopting God into your life, building a relationship with Him, and I think I started doing that at the age of 14 or 15.
Okay.
And then, you know, you grow closer with God. You lose people. I think a lot of my friends changed after that age. You know, I adopted new people into my life. I started doing better things. I took part in the RCL at school.
Okay.
And then bit by bit, I started to grow, you know, academically,
Yeah.
personally, emotionally as well. And a lot of that, you know, coming into matric, I wasn't going to apply, you know, for it go. I was like, no, it seems like it's too much for me.
Yeah.
And the teacher prompted me. She was like, you know, just try it out. You know, who knows what could happen. And I tried. And, you know, I became head go. And I realized that, okay, big changes are going to happen.
Yeah.
I remember the first week of school, you know, I got home. I was like to my mom, okay, I'm locking the door. I'm going to go sleep. She woke me up when she got home from work. I opened the door, and when she opened the door, I was gone already back in bed. I don't remember any of that.
Oh
But
my goodness.
It's exhausting changing your life, adopting to, you know, leadership and all that.
Yes.
But having God in my life made it easier.
Yeah.
Because, you know, being without God is, you know, you try to do stuff on your own, you fail a lot and you feel discouraged.
Yes.
But with God, you know, there's always something, you can read the Bible, you can have the word,
There's
because
something to
God
motivate
is
you.
always going to motivate you to do something better. And having Him with me, you know, so we were a Christian school, right? So I had this teacher who, every time we came into a class, she would speak about the Bible for a majority of the class, and afterwards, guys, you have work to do, and then she'd
Yeah.
stop. So you grow personally, you grow spiritually, and you know, God is my leader.
Yes.
So I'm trying to lead like He led, like Jesus led the disciples at the end of the day. You're trying to lead younger children into a right path, into a good path, while trying to bring, you know, maybe God into it as well,
Yes.
bringing a Christian point of view in as well. And, you know, you have to stand strong, so you don't waver in your religion as well.
So, I got a question regarding exactly what you said now. Head girl. You obviously had to set an image and a standard to what every girl should almost
Yeah.
like build up to in the school that you were. Did you, obviously the school had like rules and guidelines, and obviously you had to follow those rules, but regarding our faith, did you uphold that standard as well? Or can I say like Christian girl?
Yeah.
Is that I don't want to like say Christian girl, but like as a good Christian, like, so that other kids always in a way like say, yo, Crucis Jezus man, jy
Basically, yeah.
is sterk in die Here, like that type of vibe. Or
There's one specific girl I remember. She is 2 years younger than I am, and she's head girl this year.
Oh, wow.
So,
Wow.
so she used to ask me, you know, about advice and stuff, and same as me, she was a Christian as well. So I tried to guide her, you know, as a Christian woman,
yes,
trying to guide a Christian girl.
yes,
One who wants to be a leader, who's aspiring to be a leader as well.
Yeah.
We didn't have assemblies because of COVID and all that.
Oh yeah, is that
But
yeah.
regardless, we tried to implement, you know, everything we could into the younger children. You know, every morning we would like stand with the grade 8s and the grade 9s, to bring them into school, make sure they are standing orderly, make sure, you know, they respect each other.
Sure.
And a large majority, you know, and a big thing is we come to learn, but we leave, you know, we come to learn and we leave to serve.
Yeah.
So you're learning at school, apart from, you know, academically, you're learning how to be a better person.
Yes.
You're learning how to respect one another. And when you leave, you can maybe implement the stuff at home in your communities. So, yeah.
I want to know where you learned the fundamentals and the foundation of what you're speaking about now, because like with me, I had my grandmother growing up. So when I felt that I was going off the path, I was always like constantly speaking to her and getting motivation from her. So did you have someone in your life that on those days that you felt you couldn't anymore, did you have somebody like that?
My sister.
Did you have your sister?
My
Okay.
sister, she's 8 years older than I am, you know. And I remember one time I came home, I was not feeling well, and I saw the doors open. I was like, okay, thank you, Lord, because I was praying on my way home. And I got inside, and she was like, what's wrong? And I just started crying because it felt too much. And she comforted me, she sorted me out, she took care of me.
Yeah.
My sister is my go-to person. She is my sister in Christ as well. My sister, she's a leading example for me of what a woman of God God should be, you know.
Sure.
In Afrikaans, hulle noem hulle die Spreuke 31 vroue, you know.
Wow.
The woman of God. And, you know, she was a spiritual leader. My grandmother was her spiritual leader. And my grandmother passed away when I was in 9th grade. So growing up, I adopted my sister's views and virtues in my life as well. And it helped me a lot, actually.
Sure.
Okay.
Now for me, I had my dad. My dad was he was my go-to because I did not understand a thing back then. Because back then it was just religion. Because I had no relationship with God. I
Yeah.
can say that fairly. Because then it was just, okay, you go to church, you come back, pray every evening, belay your shoulders and whatnot. We used to have this thingy in the living room. It was like a mini carpet. So you can belay, so like, and then my mom and my dad, they'll sit right there. He was like, okay, belay your shoulders for the year. I was like, but Jesus, and he belay, and then you sit there, and you belay, and like, you repent, and like, you look up just to see if I'm doing it right, and like, God, please forgive me. I didn't speak right to my teacher today. And you'll be like, did I say it right? Is it correct, or am I fooling around now? And then he'd guide me in that way how to do it correctly as well, until eventually he'd say, okay, now you go to your binnenkamer, you close your door. But then I remember one thing with me in school, because we were at this private school in Grabo, our friends, my friends for my grade, there were a lot of atheists. Majority of them, a lot of atheists. I remember it was literally just me and my other friend that were Christian, otherwise it was just atheists. Then I was like to my dad, but like, so what's gonna happen to them now? Because we know we're gonna go to heaven.
Yeah.
And then I just start getting this guilt, like this guilty feeling, and I had these dreams sometimes. I'm in heaven and I see my friends burning in hell.
Sure.
Then I was like, Daddy, no, I don't want that. Please, no, what can I do? Then he first said, just first start praying for God, for guidance. Obviously to go talk to them correctly, because you can't just come with a full force, then they'll reject it instantly. And then he said, just plant that little seed.
Yeah.
And then eventually it will bloom into a beautiful flower. And so I took that, and now my friends back then were atheists, like now only. They've turned.
Converted, yeah.
And I'm like, the day my friend told me, I literally cried. And then his brother as well. Then I was like, oh, it's too much, just too much. And then he just had to, he's like, do you remember the day that your dad also told me you're going to be the change in the family? Not me now, my friend. My dad told that to my friend. And I was like, yeah, bro. Obviously, I was crying in that moment. And he was like, look at me now, bro. I'm turned. And I was just like, yo, thank God for that moment. But, I mean, that's the impact that had on my life.
Yeah.
Now I got a question for you. You're in high school. And there was obviously a lot of pressure, but now you're studying. What is it like in university? Obviously, I'm 18, I'm not studying yet. But what is it in university like? You see everything. I mean, how do you just stay on that path and just, I wouldn't say temptation, but distractions and nonsense happening around you? How do you cope?
You know, I can say it is rough, actually. I don't struggle to stay, on the path, but you have to be, prepared. Not just, I'm going to go into the academic phase, but mentally, you have to be prepared. You have to be standvastig, in Afrikaans. So, there's a lot of, so the university, it's a much larger scale than school is. There are new people you meet, different people from different religions, different backgrounds. And not everyone is as welcoming to religion as they would be on school. Yeah. Universities all about, you're partying, you're free away from home, you can do what you want. And to stay in your religion, it's a bit more challenging, You can easily, get mixed up with the wrong people, mixed up with the wrong crowd. And you can easily fall into, different various temptations, Where I am at Stellenbosch University, the clubs and the stuff, they are just
right there,
across the street, So the people would enjoy themselves and go out and party. And I am rather a shy person, I would say. If I'm not fully comfortable, I wouldn't overexert myself.
Yeah.
And, putting out boundaries is a very important thing.
Yes.
I have friends who aren't specifically, they are Christians, but they aren't, deep in the religion.
Yeah,
they're Christians because their family are Christians.
Yeah.
And, they'll go out and they'll go party. And although it's not for me, that is your own personal choice.
Yes.
It is not my place to judge someone else for
Yes,
their personal
exactly.
choices, because I am not God, I can't judge anyone.
Yeah.
But, I have 2 housemates, right? They share a room and I have a single room. So I would have Bible study hours where I would
it's
read the Bible,
beautiful.
and afterwards I would go sit, guys, did you know this happened in the Bible? They'll be like, really? I'll be like, yeah.
It's like a series you watch.
So exactly like you did, you bring God to someone in a gentle way. You don't
Yes.
throw God at
Yes.
them, because God came to us in a gentle way. I read a verse in the Bible not so long ago where they said, in Afrikaans, they said, daar is net een middelaar tussen die mens en God, en dit is Jesus Christus. And Jesus came to us in a gentle way,
Yeah.
He wasn't a fighter, he was a
Yes.
lover. And to approach people in that same respect, that same dignity that maybe Jesus had, to strive to be like him. Especially at university, jou geaardheid moet 'n goeie een wees. You can't force God, there are so many distractions, but reading your Bible, staying diligent in God is the most important thing
I
that you
agree.
can possibly do.
I agree, sure. Casey, got something to say, bro?
One thing that I really, really want to ask you is, it's very difficult to choose a certain subject that stays in the line of the way that you live as a Christian. And with you that's studying languages and stuff, there's a certain reason why you chose that, obviously. Has that ever had an effect on your religion? Has it ever, made you question, should you do it, should you not?
I've never questioned it, but there have been moments where, you're studying something and maybe they'll bring in, I'm studying languages, right? So normally we have different modules where we would, for example, study a certain writer maybe who was an atheist, and you have to study his writings, his disbelief in God, or how God abandoned him. And you get that. Vincent van Gogh, he was a preacher. He used to preach to people about God.
Sure.
The farm workers used to go there and preach to them about God, but no one paid him any mind. So he went into art instead. And his art never became famous until after he passed away. And then, it became famous. It's hanging in galleries all over the world. Sometimes you won't always be heard, but knowing that, I'm following God. He's there for me. And, you're studying something. You're analyzing it from a perspective, but in your heart, I do not believe this.
Yes.
And, because I'm into writing, a big thing in my English studies module that we are pulled onto is, if you can write, you have your own opinion. You don't always have to agree, but you can disagree and write about it. Your disagreement can be an entire topic or an entire subject. So you always have to bring on your argument. I think that's the best part about university. You write so many essays. I write a lot of essays. And the fun part is about it, I don't always have to agree with someone else's statement.
Yeah.
And if you disagree, an even better essay, because you are bringing into points that were never viewed before. So I have studied things or about people that weren't specifically, were bashing God, for example, or atheists who was proclaiming their disbelief in God. But I would argue against it. I would proclaim my religion through my own essays or my own beliefs.
Sure. I got one of my last question is for you. Okay, so you're also gonna get your chance. So you're studying language and culture. So what is your dream? What do you want to become one day regarding these topics? You say you paint. I've seen painting and I was like, oh my goodness, she's talented, gifted completely. So what do you want to do out there in the world?
I'm second year. I'm not entirely sure. I have my eyes on a few places, but I love writing a lot, I like writing poetry, small poems, small stories, and journalism.
Yes, I was about to ask.
And be an editor.
Oh!
Wow.
One of the two is maybe something that I actually want to strive for. And I studied two languages, French and German in my first year. So I can speak a bit of both. And I'm planning on continuing them eventually because I want to travel a bit more.
Yes.
And, building an outside experience of different cultures, different people outside of South Africa seems like, an amazing thing to be able to do.
Sure, actually. KCT.
Touching on that now, of saying what you want to become one day, I think that is the way that you're going to leave your footprint. Because I think each and every one of us want to feel one day when we are older, okay, we've done something when we were younger specifically that is going to leave a certain footprint for us. And I think that that could be the way that you leave your footprint. Like still showing the face of God in your work and then leaving your footprint like that. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
It's beautiful.
Sure. Jamie, I gotta say thank you for you being here. It was quite eye-opener from your point of view, the way you've seen things as well. So what I gotta ask is, since you say you study French and German in second year, so obviously I don't know if you that fluent yet. Can you teach me how to say goodbye 21st century, you see you next week in French, please?
Okay.
Bon voyage, the 21st century youth.
How about we try in German?
Oh, German? Oh, even better. I almost did something I shouldn't have done on camera, but... Woo.
I'm not sure what the word for youth is, but guten Tag, yeah?
Guten Tag, ja?
Guten Tag.
Guten Tag.
Guten Tag.
Guten. Oh,
Guten
guten
Tag.
Tag.
It means good day.
Okay. Guten Tag, yes.
Wir sagen
Wir sagen...
auf Wiedersehen.
Wait, what?
Wir sagen auf Wiedersehen.
Wir sagen auf Wiedersehen.
Sehen. It means we're saying goodbye.
Okay. So, what's the whole thing again, please?
Okay, let's just do the last part.
Last part, yeah.
Wir sagen
Wir sagen
auf. Wir sagen auf
Wir sagen auf
Wiedersehen.
Wiedersehen. 21st century youth. Okay, guys, I'm gonna let you say goodbye, then I'm gonna greet the people with that one.
Just give me a second. To our viewers, thank you for tuning in with us today. Jamie, we want to say thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for telling us your story. 21st Century Youth, thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys next week.
Yes, Jamie, any last thing you want to say to the viewers, maybe? Any last thing?
Stay with the Lord because He brings me so much joy. So imagine how much He will overflow you with joy.
Yes. And from me, Herman Klutzer, guten Tag, auf Wiedersehen, Alpha, and 21st Century Youth, Dosh Vidanya. See you next week.